Welcome back to the shop. These guys are getting bigger. They're going to outgrow this IBC tote, and we're going to rectify that today with a coop. We're not going to move into it right yet, but we're going to build that and time lapse it and discuss a little bit of the modifications I'm going to make to it. I have my lovely assistants going to help me today, begrudgingly. The coop, if all goes well, will look like that. So now we're going to jump into some time lapse. Well, sorry for the fragmented nature of this video. You may have seen the time lapse of us building the pen. Now I'm building the coop section that's going to sit outside of the pen. I've got a pallet that I just put on some 2x4s. Obviously, I just threw it together using some scrap wood that I had. I'm going to use the internal part of this IBC tote as the coop because I'm happy with this framework as a brooder, and I'm not discounting the fact that, or the possibility that if the chickens get murdered by something one of these days, I'll need to, and this chicken thing works out, that I'll need this brooder again. So I don't want to repurpose this because it's working perfectly as it were. So I'm going to use this as the chicken coop. And the thinking behind this is that this is going to be very dry, which is ideal for chicken coops. You don't want things moist or wet because that's when the well, it is an extremely flimsy container. I still think it's worth pursuing. I had some aluminum bars and I decided to cut them down and add them as reinforcing for the door, sort of keep it a little bit more rigid, otherwise it's just super floppy. Now I need to build some roosting boxes, nesting boxes, or at least bars for them to sit on for now. I'm not exactly sure how I want to handle that. I don't know if the nesting boxes should, I don't know. I'm just, like I said, I'm just making this up as I go. So we'll see what happens. Well, it's not fancy, but the thing that I think if anybody else is trying this, the takeaway is that it becomes more rigid when you start to build the wherever the chicken stand, whatever they call that. So as I put this internal structure in there, what I did see online was that if you create different height perches, then you can have a pecking order issue, and then they'll start to go after one another. And the birds like to huddle together in some areas, so I just used the wood I had in a sort of spastic manner. But anyway, I think it's pretty neat. I'm going to hose it out a little bit more, and I think that might be about it for now. I'd seen some guys make nesting boxes out of 5-gallon buckets. I think that would be pretty neat because chickens do break the eggs sometimes, and you want to be able to hose this thing out and get it as clean as possible. And the 5-gallon bucket idea sounds like a good idea, but that's still months away. So, all right, time for the chickens to migrate into the new pen. We're gonna put them on the cart and roll them back there, I think is the plan.
Hold on, let me grab their water. Bye, chickies. Come on. Come on in.
No time for eating, go in there.
Come on, come on.
Well, it's been a couple days, and the chickens seem to be coping well. I've increased their food size and water size supply. The Point is, I'd like to have some redundant water supply in here. I think they've got more than enough stuff to eat in terms of the ferns for now, but I don't want them drying out, so I've got 2 different kinds of watering, actually 3 different watering devices in here. And I've got a camera set up to watch this, and so far I've seen a raccoon stroll by, a gopher tortoise, and a mouse. And I think the mouse could have got in through the door if he wanted to, but the gopher tortoise tried for probably an hour trying to dig underneath here. I threw some shingles down that I had to try to stop anything. It'd be like trying to pull the rug out from underneath yourself when you're, if that makes any sense as an analogy. But I think the chicken wire isn't that robust on the ground. It's probably a slight deterrent, but anyway, so far it seems alright. Hopefully these guys don't get murdered by anything, and I put some lattice around the IBC tote, and hopefully we'll get some vines to grow on that and have that covered up. And if I was Andrew Camarada, I'd wait 2 years and bring it back and show you. But I'm pretty excited about it, and I'd like to have any constructive feedback from anybody that's had chickens before. This is my first go with this. I did want to say that I probably got about $1,000 wrapped up in the... Well, let me back up so you can see what I got going on here. So I've got probably $1,000 going on with this whole thing. Between the watering devices and the chickens and the food and the so on and so forth. The welded wire has been pretty expensive. I think I've probably got $300 worth of wire. I didn't use it all, but it was quite expensive to... Chicken wire is cheap, but the hardware cloth can get pretty expensive. I think I've got at least $200 worth of hardware cloth right here. Then some of the 1x2 welded wire is pretty expensive. IBC tote was 35 bucks. The whole get up here I think was 300 and something dollars. I forget exactly what it was. But my point is that I had estimated 4 to 5 hours and $200, $300, $400, something like that. I was drastically wrong. There was a lot of assumptions that I had in the beginning that just were wrong, and as I did more research I figured out that I needed to go a different route. I added the chicken coop came with its own wire, but it wasn't enough, so I added hardware cloth and so on and so forth. But anyway, it's been enjoyable so far. I hopefully I can keep these things alive and happy and healthy, as they say. And I just sort of wanted to show you where I'm at now, and periodically I will have update videos that are chicken related. So thanks for watching. Hope you're having a good day.